sweet little fucking cupcakes and rainbow unicorn cussing, beating the shit out of little kids. Just, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, so today's comic is Warcorns, combat unicorns for hire. This comic follows a elite military force of unicorns that fight galactic battles, and they are responding to a distress call here on Earth. And so they go to investigate, and they encounter a bunch of weird alien shit. So let's get right into it. Dan, what do you got?
Oh god, this book was fucking stupid. Oh, it was so dumb. It aggravated me off and on. It was like there was little funny things, and then there was like, where are you going with this? And why are you always yelling? Like, they always look so mad. Every scene of them talking, their mouths are like wide open and snarled fucking noses. I'm like, what are you yelling about? You're just talking to your fucking buddy. It threw me off a lot, really, just because I kept trying to just accept that they were these crazy buff unicorns. And but not sweet little fucking cupcakes and rainbow unicorns. They're fucking cussing and beating the shit out of little kids. Just, what the fuck is going on? But it's like, even with all of the stuff that was worth laughing at, I still really don't feel like it was going anywhere. I don't know what the fuck is happening.
I'm thinking it was pretty cool, man. I liked it. I thought the story was funny. It was offbeat. It was unique.
It was definitely a unique idea, for sure.
And the story itself was cool, but like you get introduced to this whole group, all the ones that's yelling that Daniel was talking about. They get to know these guys in the first part of the story that's getting attacked by these babies that turned out to be aliens, and then they escape after slaughtering them all, and they get into their ship and they call for help, and headquarters blows them up. Like they have no idea what's wrong. Nothing. They're like, Mayday, Mayday, and they're like, what was
not today, motherfucker. That's what they said.
Yeah. The clusterfuck protocol. They're like, they don't even know that this thing is on the ship. Like, okay, so this thing bursts out of this unicorn dude, and it's obviously not one of those babies, because they were those kids that was, because they were easy to take out, right? Right, wasted every one of them. And then this thing comes out, and everybody's freaking panicking, right? But what I'm saying is that headquarters, they never actually say what the problem is. They're just like, Mayday, Mayday, we're going down. And they're like, boom. I'm like, what the hell did they do that for? Like, anyway.
It's like...
But that's not even the end of the book. That team dies halfway through the book, and now you're introduced to the real team.
Yeah, the real team. What is this fucking Suicide Squad? Or no, who does that? Suicide Squad and Deadpool do it. They fucking build this whole team and just kill them all off.
Yeah, and some cool characters too.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They did look. It had a cool look to it. Like, it was a neat looking book. But then it was like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Bebop Rocksteady looking shit. Like, it just continued on this same path.
If the art had been more detailed to fit these, big, bulky, to make them look more realistic, the unicorns, instead of keeping them cartoony looking just with a bunch of muscles, I think it would have been a better story. You think it would have been better, Daniel, if it was more realistic, or same?
If it looked different, would it be a better story? No.
No, would it been for you? I'm talking about. I thought it was fine the way it was. I'm talking about like, what was the whole. So you just hated the whole thing? Like there was nothing good about it? That's what I'm asking, I guess.
No, it
Answer
looked
the
cool.
question, Daniel. They want to know.
It looked really fucking cool. I loved it the way it looked. But just if I was flipping through looking at pictures, it was like that looks cool. It's not, but it switched up so much. There was one really cool piece where they're like on the two ways and it's fading in and out, and where they're making that transmission of Mayday, Mayday. They
Yeah,
drew the lettering in a way that like you still saw what was being said, but it wasn't going through transmission.
right.
Right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that
yeah.
shit was really fucking cool. Like, and that's the thing. The artist was like going somewhere here, you know? And then they just went too fucking wild with the story. I got to where Mr. Incredible hops up from his desk and goes taking off running. He's like, I'm not gonna sell insurance no more. I have a mission. Right. And then I'm like, all right, cool. So what's this guy doing? Nope. We're gonna talk about another person. Oh, okay. So what's this guy gonna do? Nope. There's a fourth. And it's just like how I stopped and wrote down too long. And then I got another two more character introductions later, and I was like going nowhere. And then I realized that it was just over, and that they were just setting me up to read the next book
Next
with
comment,
these new group of characters who are
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
die in that book, and they'll set up another fucking group. Fucking Russian doll of comics here. They just a never-ending loop.
What'd you think, Christian?
I mean, it's a funny thing with this comic because,
Oh yeah, I forgot to tell. Yeah,
all right, yeah. So full disclosure, Bob and I have reviewed this comic in the past when we tried to do our first show, and I hated it. Oh my god, I hated it. Oh, I hated this comic. So
hated it with a passion too, man. With a passion.
I bet you
What?
loved it this time, didn't
He
you?
couldn't believe we were reviewing it. He's like, I can't even believe we're reviewing this.
Yeah,
Man.
man, I
Like,
can't.
what are we
Like,
doing?
really? You want to do that one? But the thing is I don't know if maybe it's the fact that like we've reviewed so many comics now that I'm getting a different tastes of this indie comic world, and this time I was actually able to enjoy it for what it was.
I am shocked. I was not expecting this, guys. I was not expecting this.
That's wild.
Dude, I gotta tell you, I actually like reading it this time. I enjoyed it. I laughed. It made me laugh. So it was funny. I think before I might have taken it like too seriously.
That was we did that like 11 months ago, maybe a year ago on that show. Maybe in about a year after Daniel's read a year's worth of comics, maybe he'll come back and we can flip him around. I had no idea whether Daniel would like it or not. I had this. That's what I thought would be fun because I had no idea whether he would. But I didn't think that Christian would change his mind and come around on it.
I didn't either, man. Honestly, like I read it, and I was just like, let's just get this over with, because I read it because I didn't remember. Because if I remembered it, I wouldn't have read it again.
Right.
But I didn't remember the story, so I was like, all right, let me read it. And I showed it to my wife. My wife was like, I would read the second one if somebody gave it to me. I wouldn't go out of my way to get it.
Yeah. I was
just
say,
like, oh, cool, episode 2. Well, I guess we'll look at it.
I'm gonna say I would read the second one. I would. It's just,
I'm not
the
there
second
yet.
one got me, I would buy the third one. If
I'm
the
not
second
there
one got
yet.
me too,
Yeah.
if I got my hands on the second one without buying it, and I was like, okay, I enjoyed that one too, then I would have to go buy the third one. I mean, you'd have to. Why not? Like, I mean,
Yeah, you got to
actually,
see what the
technically,
third team's gonna do.
yeah, technically, if you enjoy a comic, like, I mean, okay, well, I guess I didn't enjoy enough to go spend. What was this? $7 on eBay?
Oh Jesus!
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a hefty price for a car.
Yeah, that was a cheap one too. A lot of them were like $14, $15, and that doesn't even count shipping and handling. So I didn't like it that much. That's for sure.
It did have some funny parts though. That's like when they switched and they found the kids in the basement and the other kids switched to the fucking unicorn eating alien
Oh yeah,
things.
yeah. Like help
Bro,
us.
but they just went ham, just beat the shit out of these kids, uppercuts and guns at a pile of them, and there was like entrails hanging on his fucking nose.
That's like,
I laughed at it several times. It was
And so,
funny.
so that's my thing about it now. Also, is that like it wasn't so much a story. It was like one thing I enjoyed more this time was the art. Because I know the reason it pissed me off the first time was because like the way the story was told was just too chaotic, you
Mm,
know. But the thing is, the way the story was told is fitting for the story because the story is like really stupid and this one I consider this like very campy, very like
mm.
yeah,
like they're they're definitely trying to like be stupid and funny, and they were like I laughed this time reading it for a second time, but the art I remember what upset me was that the visual storytelling wasn't good at all, and even the art was just a bit of alright to me at the time. This time I was able to appreciate the art more, like looking at how they drew these unicorns and like the close-ups. I really enjoyed observing the close-ups. Because
yeah.
for a lot of these panels, they were like right in the unicorn's face, so you just see like a big snout and like this really angry brow. So like
Like Rico Tremblay, the fucking Mountie on the horse. You know, they
Yeah.
got him turned inside, and he's got that beard, and
yeah,
even
Yeah.
even the horse he's on has personality. If you look at him,
that was it. The thing is that I enjoyed the art a lot more. But the visual storytelling still isn't there for me, man. Like it's too chaotic. There are a lot of times where I have to like sit here and guess, which way am I going? What's
Or which
happening
one it
next?
is that's
Right,
talking. That's because like how you were talking about the close-ups was one of the things I didn't like. Like the art within the close-up was cool. Like it was really good line work and you could see the expression. But there was 80% of the body out of frame. Like who the fuck am I actually looking at? And their
right.
colors didn't help because there were several blue-green ones that also look like a gray one in the shade. And it's like, what
right?
who and it was a lot of the panels, dude. 80% of the panels were 80% out of frame,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it was
that did get on my nerves.
Yeah. That's the thing. That, like the visual storytelling just isn't there because like that spamming of close-ups, because that's what they did. They spammed, close up,
yeah.
close up, close up, and it's not good. Like so like that's where it's not quite doing it for me still.
Like they were squeezing panels in. They're
Yeah,
saying like,
Mm.
oh, we have to have these in, so let's just do it right here.
yeah. Like the only time that I found that it flowed really well because it went with that sequence was the sequence where they're just like just massacring these kids. They're just
Yeah, they even have one of them with he's laid out like
Yeah.
his tongue hanging out of his mouth and shit. His eyes are bulging out.
My favorite panel is where they're all just calmly standing with their arms by their side, off in the distance next to a pile of dead kids, and he's just blasting shots into it. Pow, pow, pow. No emotion, no expression.
No, no,
Just gonna make sure. Always double tap,
uh,
you know?
yeah, it's going pew, 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 pew.
It's in the distance. I love it. Yeah, that part was cool.
I just thought that like a couple of the things were lazy. Like one of the it was specifically two panels that were telling you what city you were in. The first one, California, looked like they pulled a screenshot straight off of GTA.
I said
And
the
then
same
and then
thing, dude.
The New York one looked like they just desaturated an actual photo of New York and put comic
Yes.
filter on it. The California one legit looked just like the
Yeah,
GTA load. Like, it was wild,
But that's like poor choice
lazy.
of styling because like here you have this really cartoony style where everything is animated with this like insane line work because they're not just using regular lines, they're using this stuff where like you got lines that like get really thick and then
Hmm.
get really thin again. Like those are really hard lines, and then all of a sudden you're gonna throw in
some
a
clip art
Google image
right,
of a
right.
really
And then, but
looking
this,
city.
and then even furthermore, the third one, I don't remember where it was, but the third one was like on an island on a coast somewhere, and that one was drawn, clearly drawn. You can see it was unique, but it was drawn in a completely different style from the whole comic book. It was still, all three of those were so different and weird and out of place.
I think the one you're talking about, yeah, is Japan. So I mean, because even that unicorn himself, he was drawn in a different style.
Mm-hmm.
That's a chick.
Yeah, that is. It says mother. Yeah.
Yeah, Blade looks like a duty. I personally, though, as I look at it now, I think the comic would have been a lot better if they'd have used like more lifelike, detailed art to tell the story.
Mm.
I thought it would have been a lot more cool. The brutality of the kids, like if the viciousness of those, what were they called, double gangers or whatever they were called?
Yeah,
Doubloids,
like, or some shit.
They could have took it in a more darker realm as opposed to this light pink, flowery blue world.
Yeah,
they
the
have.
kids all look like stuffed animals and shit. I you know, like little rag dolls.
Like this right here, where this sergeant dude with the scarred eye, that whole shot of him is an upper shot of his whole body from horn down. Like there's a lot of detail in that, and it could have been more. I don't know what the term is for it, you know what I mean? But life made it more lifelike in the face, you know.
So you think like a more rendered style is
rendered? Yes, thank you. Would have been far more darker comic, and I think more people would have liked it because of how dark it was.
If they would have taken a darker approach, I mean, that could have been cool too. Yeah, the pirate but also like the Mountie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like a darker approach to like characters like that would be pretty interesting to see. But they would definitely have to have toned down, like, you know, all the jokes and the funny.
Yeah. Like that's the thing. The story without the punchlines. I see what you're saying, Bob. Like if they took the little jokes out, which there was only a couple, it wasn't like nothing crazy. It was more what they were doing that was fucking hilarious to me.
Yeah. Just change it around for why they're there a little bit. You know, even stumbling on this birthday party, they could have been chasing after something else. Like here I go, rewriting stories again, guys.
Well, that part does make sense because they get there and they think they found kids, but they actually showed up to the right place and found exactly what they were looking for. They just didn't know.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, that's right.
So that all came to fruition, but still didn't make it less stupid.
That's kind of what I enjoy of it sometimes, is the stupidity of it, and they don't muddle it up with politics. That's what I like. So I like stories that they don't throw their personal agendas into. You know, like we had this stupid campy story about unicorns that had nothing to do about Republicans or Democrats or the environment or
any worldly issues.
You can just fighting aliens. Let you enjoy a story. I enjoy stories like that. So it was stupid and campy, but I thought it was fun. It was a fun read. So that's all we got for you guys. That's Warcorns. I thought it was a pretty fun read. Daniel liked it a little less than we did, but nobody would go out and buy it again. So anyway, that's about all we got, man. We'll see you guys next time.